Okay, so today we're going to look at factoring quadratic equations, and when it's to the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and when a is equal to 1. Okay, so basically quadratic is, we talked about quadratic before, and we said quadratic is when you have degree 2. Degree 2 is your highest degree. Okay, and then it's gonna look like this, where you have 3 terms. Okay, the first term is going to be x squared, the second term is going to be x, and the third term is going to be just a constant, a number. Okay, a, b, and c, they are numbers. They could be positive or negative numbers. Okay, so if you look at this, right here, you have your a is 1, y squared, b is negative 8, so you have by, and then you have plus c. Okay, so if you look at this, this is a, this is b, and this is c. Can you guys compare these two? Yeah, so if I have ax squared, in this case I have 1y squared, and then instead of plus b I have minus 8y, and then plus 15. Yes? Okay, so it's very important that that you are able to identify the a, the b, and the c. Okay, which one is a, which one is b, which one is c. Now, in the case that we are working with right now, a is always going to be 1. Okay, so it's very important that a is 1. Okay, so how do I factor something like this? I know that a is equal to 1, b equals to negative 8, and c equals to 15. To factor this, you're going to look for 2 numbers that multiply to c and add to b. Okay, so here's the rule. The rule is you're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to c and add to b. Okay, so here's how I set it up. I set it up in a table like this. So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to 15 and add to negative 8. Okay? I gave you a green sheet, and on that green sheet, it tells you what your factors should be, if there should be positive or negative. So if b is negative and c is positive, that's my case right now. My case is b is negative, right? B is negative 8, and c is positive 15. Okay? So if b is negative and c is positive, I'm looking at this right here, because b is negative and c is positive, right? So that means both factors have to be negative. Okay? Both my answers are going to have to be negative. Now give me things that multiply to 15. What multiplies to 15? 3 and 5. So we said that both of them have to be negative. So negative 3 and negative 5, and negative 1 and negative 15. Right? So what does negative 3 and negative 5 add to? Negative 8. How about negative 1 and negative 15? What does it add to? Negative 16. So which one of these 2 sets are going to multiply to 15 and add to negative 8? The first one, because the second one they add to negative 16, right? So it's the first one that add to negative 8. So my factors that satisfy this equation are negative 3 and negative 5. Okay? So my factors are negative 3 and negative 5. So for me to be able to factor this, I factor it like this. Equals, I open brackets, I put y in the first spot, and then my answers in the second spot. Because my answers are negative, it's going to be y minus 3 and y minus 5. Okay? remember that what we did previously is we had this and we had to FOIL. Do you remember the FOIL? Right? We had to FOIL to get to this. Now we're doing the opposite. We're in the standard form, okay? We're in the expanded form, and then we're factoring to get to the factored form. Okay? So if right now, if I want to check my work, I can do this. Okay, so I have y minus 3, y minus 5. If I FOIL, I'm going to get y squared minus 5y minus 3y plus 15. Collect like terms, so that's going to be y squared minus 8y plus 15. Is that what I started with? Yes. So in this case, I'm just checking my work to see if my factoring is correct. Okay? So the deal about the factoring is that you're going to look at two numbers that multiply to your C and add to your B. Okay? And you're going to use the screen sheet to help you identify if your numbers are going to be positive or negative, or one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. So you see how you have two numbers here, one is large number and one is small number, right? So if it says that your large is going to have to be positive and your small is going to have to be negative, then your large is going to be positive, which is 5, and then the small is going to be a negative number. Okay? So let's look at other examples. I'll give you time to copy this, okay? Do you guys want to take a picture of it? Okay, so let's look at this one right here. What's my A, what's my B, what's my C? A is, it's the number, so it's 1, right? B is 3, just the number. C is negative 10. Okay, so I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to what and add to what? Multiply to C and add to B. So multiply to, negative 10 and add to 3. Okay? Now, I want you to look at your green sheet. In this case, B is positive or negative? And C is? So which one, B is positive and C is negative? So that means your large number is going to be positive and your small number is going to be negative, okay? So what factors multiply to 10? Give me numbers that multiply to 10. 5 and 2. But because it says the large one's going to be positive and the small one's going to be negative, so it's going to be 5 and negative 2. Okay, give me another one. 2 times 5 or 5 times 2. And 1 and 10, right? That's it. Okay. What does 5 minus 2 add to? 3. How about negative 1 plus 10? 9. So which one is the right one? Which one add to 3? The first one. Okay, so my factors are 5 and negative 2, right? So that means that's going to factor to x plus 5 and then x minus 2. That's it. Okay? Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. I want you to practice these two questions. This one and this one. I want you to try these. Okay? And then you can do from your key questions. For now, you can do this, this, for now. Okay? So 1A, no, which one did I want you to do from 1? I want you to do 1A. That's what I meant. Okay? You're going to do 1A and then 4B. But before you do that,